What's going on, guys, and welcome back to my channel. So as many of you guys know, I have very severe scoliosis. My curve is anywhere between 80 and 90 degrees, probably somewhere right now. I know at its worst it was at 92 degrees. I do have a C curve, and I am all about finding alternative methods and alternative ways to improve, help with pain, help with stiffness, and just overall treat and manage my scoliosis without going the surgery route. So one of the things that I have tried within the last year is Rolfing, and so I finally decided to kind of document this journey, explain a little bit more about what Rolfing is, and just give you my overall experience. So I'm going to take you guys to my Rolfing appointment with me, and my Rolfer will explain a little bit about what he is doing, but it is important to know that everybody's body is completely different. And there is something called the 10 series with Rolfing that you will most likely go through before you start working on your specific issue. So if you are going for scoliosis, you are going to first start by going through the 10 series, which is what everybody goes to no matter what they go to Rolfing for. So I did already do the 10 series, and I finished that probably about 8 months ago. They want you to take a pretty big break before you come back for more sessions, so that's exactly what I did. I've already had one more session where we focused strictly on my trunk area, so like my front ribs, my back ribs, stomach, torso, all that whole area. And then today we're going to be working on my back, so I thought it would be really interesting to bring you guys along, and hopefully you guys enjoy this. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. It really helps support my channel, and let's get into the video. I would say like different after the last one, where before I never really felt, I couldn't really tell if I felt different or not. But last time I definitely felt, I don't know, like I felt like my ribs were a little bit flatter, if that makes sense. Like they weren't as, what was the word Alex used? Bulging. And I just, yeah, I felt like lengthened, I guess would be the better word.
It's not as compressed or
yeah,
tight.
exactly.
Good times. So, cool. Okay. Let's have you do a little knee bend. And then go ahead and come back up, and then turn to the side and do the same thing. And one more time. Just up and down again. Just like that. Okay. Cool. And then is that knee popping? Okay, so go ahead and lie down face up here.
How did you say face up?
Yeah.
Just talk like what just actually are you doing?
So I'm going around her trunk and around the inside of her curves, inside and outside of her curves, trying to find what's tight. And any place where it's closed up or shortened, I'm just trying to lengthen it out. So that if her body wants to extend and wants to reduce those curves, it has the slack in the system in order to do so. Yeah, a lot of it is in the back, but there are some like anterior oblique stuff over here that are pulling your ribs down and forward. And then some stuff in the rectus that, well, it's not pulling the ribs down, it's just gotten really used to being short because it latches to the ribs right here. So I'm just trying to lengthen it out. And then I'm also touching in on some of her intestinal stuff and her pancreas.
And this is still a thing because I remember you talked about this before, the fascia. Is that what it's called?
Mm-hmm.
So that's where, is that like where you're putting your fingers essentially?
Yeah, we use the bones and the muscles as landmarks, but we primarily interact with the fascia. It's more intelligent. It's where 70% of the proprioceptive nerves lie, which is like where mind space, hot, cold, like basically what is the state of my body. And the muscles, while they can do a lot, they're wholly dependent on those nerves in the fascia for their image of the environment and what state they have to take in order to compensate or adapt to that environment. So by releasing the fascia, especially the superficial fascia, the deeper muscles will relax on their own because they will no longer be receiving signals from the skin that they need to protect themselves. And I tend to ping pong from working deep and superficial, because when I release the superficial stuff, that usually gives me more access to the deeper structures around her bones, particularly her vertebrae and ribs. Zay.
No, you're good.
Let's have you lay down face first.
Okay.
Let's see if I can. Rotation.
So what are you trying to do right here?
Up the valley, down the mountain. And it's something a phrase we use to remember spinal mechanics. So when something's up like that, it's back, and there's kind of a gap on this side between the ribs.
Mm-hmm.
That's actually a sign that the facets on that side are closed. So we're trying to open them up.
The facets?
Yeah, the facets in between the vertebrae. So it's kind of the joints where the facets where the vertebrae meet. They have like these really little flat disc joints, little contact pads.
Oh, so what does it do? They're closed, so what does that mean?
If they're heavily closed on one side, then these ribs, it's kind of a chicken and egg situation. Whether the ribs deformed and then it caused the facets to close, or whether or not the facets closed and that forced the ribs to deform. Either way, if those facets are closed, then these ribs can't go back to where they want to be.
So you're trying to free them up?
Yeah, I'm freeing the spine, and then I'm going to go and start to free the ribs. And again, just kind of reducing the stress and the tension and the forces from the soft tissue so that the bones can go back to their inherent shape. Feel free to grimace.
He puts it right in my face.
That is her spine. Way over here. So if we run down the spinal groove, it helps to reduce tension on the multifidi and all the other paraspinal muscles. So they're very much in a reciprocal relationship, and that one cannot function if the other is not moving.